If you have a bank account or a debit card, then you gotta watch this video.
So there were 11 wire transfers in total, 2 on our personal accounts, 9 on our business accounts. We lost close to $140,000.
Wow. How devastating is that for you, Kate?
Every day we just wake up and feel like we're living kind of a nightmare right now.
This is a real story. This is what happened with a couple where they lost almost $140,000 and they never got it back. These scammers are on a different level right now, and you gotta watch this video because this will shock you.
What happened to Scott and Kate Zoll began with a text to Scott's phone, supposedly from Chase Alerts, asking, "Did you attempt to send a wire transfer for the amount of $4,500?
So this is the biggest trick from scammers. What they actually do, they send you these bogus texts, which actually look like real text messages from these financial institutions, and I mean banks. And right here, they actually fell for it, and this is truly heartbreaking.
At that point, before I did anything else, I reached out to my business partners and asked if they had initiated a wire. They had not, so I then called the bank branch to see if they could see any activity on my account.
That was smart. Chase Bank immediately gave him the number to its fraud department. But what happened next was his big mistake.
Now you gotta watch this part very carefully because this literally shocked me. That is it even possible that these scammers are that tech savvy now, and especially in this AI era? This is unbelievable.
At that point, I acknowledged the text.
But next was his big mistake. Immediately gave him the number to its fraud department. But what happened next was his big mistake.
At that point, I acknowledged the text that came through, said no, we did not initiate this wire. Got a text back immediately saying somebody from the Chase fraud team will be in contact with you. Probably within 30 seconds, I received a phone call from the exact number that the branch had just given me.
From the exact same number. Now these scammers can spook into the system as well, and they can actually call you from the exact same numbers that the banks calls you or the bank gave you to report a fraud or a problem with your bank account.
What Scott never guessed is the call from Chase Alerts saying a representative will be contacting you shortly was actually the scammers who had spoofed the Chase fraud number, leaving Scott to think he was talking with Chase Bank.
And at one
They spooked the Chase fraud number. Like, can you imagine? Now you cannot trust anything right now because the only thing or the only number that you can trust is the one that you have on back of your card, and you can only trust that number when you call that number. Even if you receive a call from the exact same number, it's an eye-opener that don't believe it.
Leaving Scott to think he was talking with Chase Bank.
And at one point, I even called the Chase line because the phone number dropped, and I called the Chase fraud line. And I was frustrated with actual Chase because they couldn't see the conversations that were happening. And within a minute, the people that were scamming us actually called back, and I'm like, great, these people know what they're talking about. I'm going to go back to this call.
Scott isn't sure how, but says the scammers already had his bank account number and knew how much money he had. All they needed from Scott was a one-time passcode that he did in fact receive via text from real Chase, only to then unwittingly share it with the scammer who was pretending to be Chase Bank.
This is the worst thing that you can do to ruin your life. Never, ever, ever share any sort of code with anyone on the phone, especially to the person who's actually calling you. If you have called the Chase customer service or any other bank's customer service, first you gotta make sure that you have the right number. Don't just Google the bank name and just call them. This AI era is onto a different level and we cannot compete with it. The only thing that we can do right now is the number that you have on your bank statement, the number you have on the back of your credit or debit card. Please remember, always call on those numbers. And if they tell you that we are sending you a one-time code, because it personally happened with me when I was banking with Wells Fargo, that hey, in order to move forward, I'm sending you a one-time text, just reply with yes or something, as far as I remember. So I did that, but now I'm also scared on doing the same thing again, because This is clearly shocking.
That phone call, wittingly share it with the scammer who was pretending to be Chase Bank. That phone call would cost him $137,130.
$140,000 almost. This is huge, and according to this couple, this is their whole life savings.
Just wake up and start all over again to try to accept that all our money's gone. And I'm not hopeful at this point in the journey that we're going to see any of it again.
And you need to remember that, the money that you lose because of these scams and frauds, you're not going to get it back. Yes, there's an FDIC insurance, but it only works if the banks go out of business. It doesn't work with these scams and frauds, by the way.
Recent FBI stats show in 2022, 405 Colorado phishing victims lost nearly $500,000.
Wow.
And 467 spoofing victims lost $2 million.
And you know who loses most of the money right now in US? Seniors. Seniors are one of the most naive people on American soil because, they're not that tech savvy. We all know that. They're using the laptop or phone and they see a notification, hey, you have a malware, you have a virus or something, call this number, we can fix it. And they call, and I've seen a number of videos where actually these seniors went to Walmart just to get the gift cards because these scammers actually forced them to get a gift card and give them the number. So before I even move forward, I would like to make a request to please share this video with as many people as you can. And don't forget to smash the like button right now. The reason I'm telling you to smash the like button is not that I'm gonna get a number of likes, because it helps this video reach to the wider audience. So the more people watch it, the more it will be harder for these scammers to scam naive Americans.
The technology does exist that they can spoof phone numbers from anywhere in the world and make it look like it's a Chase fraud department.
Brian Blosser is a special agent with the FBI who says phishing and spoofing scams are getting more sophisticated by the day.
Be very leery of unsolicited text messages, phone calls, or a pop-up or an email that you've got a fraudulent charge in your account.
Special Agent Blosser says once a person realizes they've been scammed, do exactly what the Zolls did. Contact your bank with a number you trust, either from your bank statement or the back of your credit card.
This is what I was telling you. Only two numbers you can trust right here. The one that you have on your bank statement, the one that you have on the back of your credit card or debit card. Please just don't Google it and hey, this is the Chase number or Wells Fargo number, I'm gonna call them. Please don't do it. This AI era is on another level and we cannot compete with these scammers. The only thing that we can do is to educate ourselves that these scams exist and how we can save ourselves and our life savings from these ugly scammers.
To initiate a wire number you trust, either from your bank statement or the back of your credit card, to initiate a wire recall, and file a report with the FBI at ic3.gov.
The best advice that I would relay would be, hey, take a second, because a lot of the times the scammers are going to try to create the persona that there's an urgent need. You have to act now.
If I would have just slowed down and looked at some of the other indicators, but we're talking, over $100,000, like you want to act fast or you think you need to.
In a statement, Chase Bank told the problem solvers, these types of scams are heartbreaking. Beware of new contacts asking you for codes, access to your device, or to send them, yourself, or anyone else money to prevent fraud. Chase, other banks, law enforcement, and technology companies won't ask you to do this, but scammers will.
Yeah.
Like cash, wires are final payments and are rarely successfully recalled once sent.
I have to work 10 times harder than I was working, to get back to where I was, not even ahead, just to get back to where we were.
There is a special place in hell for the people
Absolutely. There's no
that can do this to someone.
For those of you wondering about FDIC insurance up to $250,000, that doesn't apply to scams. That only
Yes, this is what I was telling you, that this FDIC insurance doesn't apply to scams and fraud. So the best thing that you can do right now when it comes to saving your life savings is just don't share the details with anyone. If you're in a branch, that's a different story. If you're calling the number that you have on the back of your debit or credit card or on your bank statement, that's a different story. But if you're Googling the number because you're encountering a problem and you Google, hey, Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, or any other bank and there's a number that popped up, because right now the Google AI actually gives you the number right in front, and most of the times it's not correct because actually they fetch the data from the recent searches. So you need to keep this in mind, that don't ever Google any bank's number, especially your own bank's number. Just use the debit card, the back of your debit card or credit card or bank statement to get that number. Call that number only. And if you ever receive a call from bank and you know the number, that hey, this number looks exactly the same that I have on the back of my debit card or credit card, the best thing that you can do, hang up and call the number that you have on the back of your card again. You know, this is the best thing you can do, because now you can see this is a textbook example of what not to do. If you ever receive any text or call from any number that you think it's number from the bank or your financial institution, instead of moving forward with the conversation with that scammer, just hang up and call the number that you have on the back of your card or on your bank statement. This is the best thing you can do. But at the same time, if you have good relationship with your bank's manager or any of the staff members, like especially manager would make sense. But if you have any number, you can actually call them directly as well. Call your branch if you have the number. But even if you receive a call from your own branch and you believe, oh, this is the financial institution that I do business with, so of course, yeah, I'm going to give you the number or stuff like that. Don't do this, please, because this is clearly shocking. Now, this is an eye-opener in front of you, that don't do anything, because this thing can ruin your life as it did to this couple. So if you have any questions at all, then please let me know in the comments below and I'll be happy to answer each and every question of yours. If you like this content, make sure you smash the like button, share this video with your loved ones, and click on the bell icon so you can watch the videos on Credit Oaks channel, which actually opens your eyes and give you the access to improve your credit score and to save your life savings. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video very soon. Till then, please take care and have a nice day.